time to jump on logic of the authentication. I hope you enjoyed the tutorial right now, because what we're gonna do for the next tutorial is gonna be really important to understand. And this is I mean, we're gonna need to use it in every kind of application almost. So because every kind of application have almost authentication. So this is what we're gonna do. And so my plan for today is, first thing, we need to create the mutation. So like we did here with graphical when we do the sign up. So this thing, everything we did there. After that, we need to plug that to the component we create, the sign up form. I'm going to show you how you can easily plug a mutation, because the only thing we've seen right now was a query, which pretty much more easy. And so yeah, so we're gonna do this, and after that I'm gonna install Redux Logger. Why that? It's because remember that what I told you at the beginning, it's Apollo use Redux behind the scenes, so we can make use of Redux Logger, who's gonna let us see the query in the console. So I really love it. Plus that's gonna help us to debug sometime. After that, we're gonna create the action on Redux for the logging to change the boolean is authenticated we created the last time for just stop showing this navigator and show the real one. And after that, we're gonna jump on the async storage. So this is the way to save local the token inside the storage, so the user can still log. And so think about async storage as the local storage like we did in the web for the mobile side. So time to jump on it. So what we're gonna do, first thing, be sure then you have your server running, your application running with Expo, like that. After that, make sure we're gonna need Robo Mongo one time in this episode. And after that, just open the React Native debugger by running yarn debug if you have used my code on the past. So this is what we're gonna do. So first thing, we're gonna do with the mutation. So we jump on the mutation. We're gonna create a folder mutation right there in the GraphQL. I'm gonna call that sign up. So this is the mutation sign up. So here we need to use the GQL function here finally to create the mutation like that. So now, and remember this is backtip because we're gonna use variable inside that. So now what we're gonna need to do, it's when we check at the query we did, that was easy. It was just a query like that. But as you can see inside GraphQL, we have mutation like this. And when you do a mutation, you have access to a query variable. And how you do this is by doing just that. We put mutation first. We call a mutation like we did here. So mutation sign up. This is finally this is the name I give. So you're gonna say after that, sorry, this is not a good term, but here what you do, this is how you can put variable. So I'm gonna have a variable called full name, which is gonna be a string, and I need that. After that, I'm gonna have a variable email, which is gonna be a string, and I'm gonna need this one too. After that, we're gonna have password, it's gonna be a string, and we need that. I'm gonna also add username, which is a string, and I need this. And finally, we're gonna have an avatar, it's a string, and I'm gonna add this like that. I know I didn't this, I'm gonna do this here. And I'm gonna show you how we can send the avatar. For now, we're gonna just send the fake avatar. I just show you how to get that from your Twitter, because we're gonna manage that with the S3 bucket later in this tutorial. So now this is how we're gonna do. We're gonna say sign up. Finally, you just say the same stuff. So full name, and now full name gonna equal to the variable full name, because remember this thing become a variable finally. And now you do the same for everything. So email equal $email. After that we have password, $password. After that we have username, $username. And finally we have avatar, $avatar. And now at the end what we want to return is a token only, like we did here, token. I'm gonna save it. I'm gonna run prettier because it's really long. So I think it's just much cleaner to read that like that. So perfect. This is the first thing we have. So now we need to plug this to the component. So we're gonna make use of the sign up form. How we plug that? It's by importing right there graphic to. I'm gonna just import it. This is something I really like. It's you import the package first, and after that you can look at the library you have inside. So if I type graphical, I can have it. After that, you need to import your mutation. So I'm gonna call that sign up mutation. Like I told you with the query and everything about GraphQL, I like to have your uppercase, so that makes more sense for me here. You jump at the bottom, you put GraphQL like that, and you put sign up mutation, and now you wrap your component with that. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna open the debug by doing command D debug remotely. I'm gonna look at React Native Debugger. As you know, I really like to show you everything about everything. So here, if we search for sign up form now gonna came with this props now because we wrapped it with graphical, and inside the mutate, that's gonna be all we can finally call the one we have. So we can do this by doing this that props that mutate. So now what we can do for that is we're gonna create a function called when we click on the button. So the button here confirm. So what are we gonna do? I'm gonna go there and I'm gonna say on sign up press. It's gonna be an async function. Like that. Why? Because we're gonna have promises inside, so we need to manage that. This click here gonna be called on the on press on the button confirm. There's that on sign up press. And now what we're gonna do is here we're gonna call the mutation. So all we can do this, it's now we need to have this value coming in from the state. So we're gonna destructuring that first. So I'm gonna say equal this that state. So now here I'm gonna destructuring the full name, the email, the password, and the username. After that, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go at the top, right after the color. Like you remember, we create a variable inside the constant file where we put the Twitter URL. Just take this one, and now here what we're gonna do is we're gonna say const avatar equal fake avatar, and now here we can create finally the mutation. And the mutation gonna give us back an object, and inside this object we're gonna have data. So what we can do for seeing that is I'm gonna say const data equal this that crops that mutate. So the thing I just show you inside the native debugger when we look at form. Oh, because it's not open, so I need to open it. So because the component wasn't mount, mutate. You see? So now what I can do is this that crops that mutate. And now this thing take an object inside that. And one of the object is variable. This variable is an object. So here what you can do is just put full name, email, password, username, and avatar. So this is all the variable here or the variable we pass here finally. And this is what we need for the mutation. Only that's it, nothing more. So what we can do here, just for seeing that, is I'm gonna say console log data. So now if that works, we're gonna see the data here after a moment. So now I'm gonna click on my get start. I'm gonna enter a good full name. You see? Oh, maybe now. I'm gonna say my name is Hello World. Yep, I have a beautiful name, Hello World. So here we see something I don't want to be capitalized. I'm gonna change that right after at gmail.com. Password 123. And I'm gonna say username as a Hello World 3. So now if I click sign up, look what's gonna happen. And now I get an error and I get looks like I get something right because I think that worked. Yeah, because my component, my Hello World user is created here. So now we get undefined. So what I've missed, I know what I've missed. It's because it's a promises. No, I didn't did that for you to learn that was a promises. I just make an error here, but we don't tell that. It's here. This is a process. It's a promises, and because here I didn't say await, my promises wasn't not finished when I put the variable on it. So that's why I get undefined. So now if I save back, now I'm gonna create another one. I'm gonna create John Snow Snow dot gmail.com, password 123, and I'm gonna say John Snow user as a username. And now if I click sign up, boom, after an amount of time, we get the subject. So this is the data. So data that sign up and that token. So this token right there is the token we need for the GWT portion. So as you remember, we need to have that in the headers. So we need to manage that because we're gonna need to use it later. So first thing, we're gonna change this Gmail here. I don't want to have my email with a capitalized letter. So I'm gonna just copy paste auto capitalize none inside my email. I'm gonna just test it to make sure that works, because I don't think people always put capitalized letter in email. Yeah, perfect. So that worked. Now we need to save this token inside the data that sign out that token inside the async storage. So what are we gonna do? So now we're gonna try create a try catch. Why? It's because as async storage, it's a promises first thing, and also you can have an error. So what we can do now is we're gonna jump at the top. Inside the React Native package line 5 here, I'm gonna say async storage. It's already Boolean. And now that works almost like we do with the web. So first thing we're gonna do is await async storage that set item. So as you can see, set value for key and call a callback on completion, along with an error if there is any. So now I'm gonna click on set item, and you see set item, they ask you to have a key, a string, and a value as a string with a callback promises. So I just show you that because I want you to learn how to read your code. And Visual Studio Code is awesome for that. It's an awesome, almost like an IDE. So this way you have access to this kind of function and other stuff. Like here we have access to the flow, so flow type, and this is why we get this thing. So now we know we need the key. So the key, what I'm gonna get as a key name, I'm gonna say Twitter YouTube clone. That's gonna be the name I'm gonna put. I think if you build an app, don't go with this kind of just put the name of your application finally. And for me, I put this I don't know how in English you say that, but this stuff here. And now, so it's like a map. So we have a key and a key and a value. So now here we can put the value, and I'm gonna say data that sign up that token, because remember we have the data coming from here. So now I'm gonna put this in the async storage, and I can make use of it. So we're gonna jump on that, and now just for now I'm gonna throw the error. If I have an error, I'm gonna throw the error. So now I can, when I log, I put this token inside my async storage. So this is what we're gonna do after. We're gonna plug it to the middleware of Apollo client, but now you just like look at that. I'm gonna just enter really quick something. So you see we have no validation, so it's easy for at least us for debug. And now if I click sign up, it works. Now we get duplicate key error. Okay, so I have already someone with this username, maybe with my test. So one sec. I'm sure this one cannot be. I maybe know why. It's because I removed the console log. My error, sorry, but it must be here. Yeah, and I click 2 times. That's why we get this thing. Perfect. So you see, like we don't have like my user. Think about that. You are the user of your app. You click and okay, what happened? You see, like we wait. I don't want to have that. So that's why we can have a loading. So first thing is we're gonna create a component loading. I'm gonna just create a component loading who's gonna be a really easy component who's gonna be at the center of each screen. And what he's gonna do, he's gonna just finally be at the middle and show the spinner of activity indicator. So if this is the iOS, that's gonna be the one with like the scratch on it, and if this is Android, that's gonna be like kind of the material one. And we're gonna make it resolvable, and we're gonna make it be able to be changed. Easy, really easy. Import React at the top. Import from React Native activity indicator. After that, import style component. We're gonna import the colors because we're gonna need a color coming from util folder and constant. So that we're gonna create a root like I always do. We're gonna say flex one, take the full space of the screen, justify contain, go center from the left to the right, align item, no, it's from the top to the right, align items go from the left to the right, and that's it. So I just want to make sure it's gonna be at the middle. So that I'm gonna export default stateless function. We're gonna call loading. I'm gonna return root with the activity indicator right inside, like that. After that, here we know activity indicator, so this name, sorry, my English. Here we have access to a size, and I think if I retype it, we have access to small or large or a number. So small as a height of 20, large as a height of 36. We can access small and large, or we can just put a number. So, but what I'm gonna do is, because I can say large here like that, but the thing is, I want maybe like to use the same component inside a little portion of my app. So what I'm gonna do, if you don't understand what I'm gonna do there about the destructuring stuff, about like how to destructuring a variable who is not already there, look at my video. I'm gonna push in the description. It's a video about destructuring where I talk about like 20 minutes about the tips you can do with that. And I think you really need to learn this if you want to go further in JavaScript with all the ES6 stuff. So what we're gonna do here is I'm gonna say color and size. This is what you know, okay? Perfect, that's gonna come from my property. But the thing is, now it's easy. I can say, oh, give me size, give me color. But the thing is, if I have nothing, what's gonna happen, you think? Like nothing. So what we can do here, it's like that. Gonna equal to color that primary. So I want to have the blue of Twitter, and size I'm gonna say large. The thing about that is that destructuring, by doing this, need to have access to another object to know from where destructuring, and that's why we do equal to the bracket like that. And now if I don't pass any value, the color is gonna be primary and size large. If I put the size of small, the color gonna stay primary. Go at the top of your file in signup, import loading from component loading. And now we need to do some kind of logic to handle the loading spinner when the user sign up. Because we use async await, it's pretty easy. So go inside your state at the top, add loading, be false by default. After that, when we click on the sign up press, I want the set state loading to be true. So when you click on the sign up press, I show the loading spinner right now before I do any kind of code, any kind of like change. After that, right there now, what I'm gonna do is find out. I'm gonna say return that set state loading false. And now because it's promises, and now wait, stop your code at the line. So what's gonna happen is I click, I get the spinner, and you're gonna stop in the set state. And now the only thing we need to do, if that state that loading, so if loading is true, we want React to show the loading component. That's it. And now time to see the magic. If I'm right, get start, type a full name, email, password, username, click on sign up. And you see, we get the little spinner for a small amount of time. The thing is, remember that the server is really quick because we are on localhost. That's not gonna be as quick. In other episode, I'm gonna show you how you can like add a set timeout in your server side we're gonna let you having a bigger amount of time. So example, we can say 500 milliseconds. So that's gonna really fake a real server. So this thing is done. But now the thing is, yeah, I want to log. Now I'm staying here. The thing is about the app right now, it's the state we check as the is authenticate, it's false. If authenticate is false, I'm gonna show you this screen. So what we can do right now, it's we need to change this reducer. First thing, I'm gonna just delete the token. I don't need to save the token. That was my mistake. Secondly, we need to change the authenticate. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create not a component, but another folder called action inside my source, and I'm gonna call that the same name as my reducer. So user export a function logging. We're gonna take nothing but return a type logging. So this is what Redux name. You need to just have a type. I'm gonna go on Redux and I'm gonna say case logging. I want to return state. Keep the state as ER right now, but is authenticate is gonna be true now. Maybe some of you are gonna ask, yeah, but now how I'm gonna get the info? It's gonna be another function. We're gonna just not paralyze, but we're gonna make asynchronous way of other functions. So we're gonna call, after I've been authenticated, we're gonna call the me query. We're gonna give us the information of the user, and this thing's gonna be in the next one, but not right now. So now we have that. So now here at the top, I'm gonna import connect from React Redux. I'm gonna go there. I'm gonna import the logging function from the action folder user. But the thing is now, I'm a little confused about how I can connect when GraphQL is already there. I cannot do connect here and do like that. So what we can do. So if we go to Chrome and you go to Apollo data, if you search at the bottom as a compose right there, React Apollo export a compose function. So that's gonna give us the pattern for reduce a number of reassignment. So look at that. Here they use with React Redux in the example. So they use compose where they have the query, the other mutation here, and now they have the connect right there. So this is what we're gonna do. So compose is already building React Apollo. So go there at the top, React Apollo, put a comma, compose. And now this is all we do. Go at the bottom, compose, put your printf like that, and now you need that right there before. Don't wrap the sign up form, just like that. So now this is supposed to look something like that, if you follow me. Now we're gonna put a comma. We're gonna say connect. We don't need to have a map set to prop, but I'm gonna use logging. Like that. Why I'm gonna use logging? It's the way this way I don't need to do this, that props, that dispatch, that, and put the logging. This way logging become with the dispatch. So you get bind to the dispatch. So now what I can do, it's right there. I'm gonna remove the this that set state with the return. And now what I'm gonna do, it's I'm gonna return this, that props, that logging. That's it. So if everything is working, I'm gonna have the logging. But now what I'm gonna do, because this thing is again a permissive, and I can crash my app, I'm gonna put that inside my try catch. Because remember, a try catch, you can put a lot of code inside that. If one of the code crash, we're gonna get that in the error. So if everything go right, we're gonna be logged. Time to test it. So I'm gonna have the net start gmail.com password and net start, and now I'm gonna click on logging. So what I want you to see too is the debugger. So now look in the state here. Now it's authenticated, it's false, and now when I'm gonna click, boom, you see now what happened. This is the route, the action get called. Apollo mutation, we get to the logging because that was done, and now we are authenticate. It's hard to see the action here. I want the action here, and we can add that in 2 lines of code. One, it's gonna be to install a package called yarn at Redux logger inside dev dependency. So remember -d. Go inside your store, import from Redux logger the library called create logger. And now in my middleware, I'm gonna put my create logger. need to be a function like that. So now look what's gonna happen. Again, sorry if you think this is a long video and doing stuff like that. Just want to make sure you understand everything. And so here, just because we know that's gonna work, I'm gonna put password like that and something like that. And now look at the action. We're gonna get the action right there. That's why I really love this package. Boom, we get everything coming in. Now another error you have seen, it's that I'm refresh and man, I'm not looking anymore. Why? I mean, you put that in the async storage. Why? That don't change nothing. It's because now we need to do kind of an if statement at the beginning of the application and see if the user is logged with just by using the async the token. So what we're gonna do for this portion is we're gonna need to go inside app.js. So this is where the app starts. Go at the top, import from React Native async storage. After that, I'm gonna create a function here called check if token, who's gonna be an async function. Because premises are async. If I have an error, I'm gonna throw it. After that, here what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna say const token equal await async storage dot get item. And now here you just need to pass the string as the same string you put inside your sign up form. So that was this one here. So this thing right there. So we're gonna get that as a string. So the token is gonna be there. And now we can say if token it's not null. Why I don't do the like that? It's because I want it to be like if it's undefined too. If I do this like that, it needs to be null. But if I do this like this, it can be null or undefined. I'm gonna say if it's not null, now I'm gonna take my store because now I don't have access to the connect because the connect go inside after the provider. But now I'm gonna call my store the dispatch, and now I'm gonna dispatch the type logging. So the function we got are what we can do. If you like it much more, we can import logging from source action user, and right there we can do logging like that. So if we have a token, we're gonna call logging. And now look, if I'm gonna save here, it's not gonna work. Why? Because we need to call that. So I can call that inside my component then mount. This the check token. So in then mount, it's happened when the component mount. Or what we can do is call that inside the will mount before the component. But the thing about that, it's now we're gonna have something strange. You see? Again, what is that? What is that? We need to think about that right there. So I'm gonna refresh it for the last time and look. The thing is, it's an async. It's asynchronous, and the thing is, we show something before we finish the other thing. So how we can manage that is expo make the life really easy. If we go to expo.io, I'm gonna go to document and build. I'm gonna search here uploading. React component that tell expo to keep the app loading screen if the first and only component rendering in your app. When it's removed, the loading screen will disappear and your app will be visible. Looks pretty nice. So what we can do, this is what we want finally, that's gonna be this loading spinner. Like you see this loading spinner gonna stay there until we finish. So what we do is import from expo app loading. And now we need to have a way to know if the app is loading. So all we can do this is by creating a state. App is ready. By default, it's going to be false. The app is not ready at the beginning. It's not ready. But now what we can do, it's when the store dispatch is done, right there, after everything here, I'm going to say this at set state. App is ready. Now become true. And now, like I showed you before, we can do an if. This that state that app is ready. So if app is ready, it's false. Return app loading like that. Now if I save, look now. You see, it take a bit more time because you need to check as the in the token. But now, did you see? How awesome is that now? The app we don't see the flicker screen before. Look, boom, and now we get to the home. Perfect. But now the thing is, we are not authenticated. I mean, we're gonna test that. Go in your code, go to your server, go to code, open with a Visual Studio Code or whatever add-on or something like that, and now we put require out, be back. Alright, save. I'm gonna close the screen. And now look. Nothing happened. Why? What is the error? Unitarize. Boom! Right there. Time to jump on the middleware, and this is the last thing for today. Don't worry about that. It's gonna be really, really simple. So what happened is we don't put that in the headers of the Apollo. So we can do this. We're gonna do that out in the store because we need the network interface. Network interface have middleware. We can put middleware in network interface, and this is an array of objects. And one of the middleware we're gonna put gonna be an async one, where I'm gonna apply middleware, rec and next for the request, and finally the callback. And now here what we're gonna say it's if we have no rec that options that headers, I'm gonna create a brand new rec option that headers empty object like that. Now I'm gonna get an error. It say no parameter assigned. I'm gonna just remove that because I don't want to work with this thing right now. So just copy that, put ESLink disable at the top, and paste it. Now after that, what we're gonna do, it's here. We're gonna put a try catch. Well, I'm gonna show if we have an error. And here I can already finish with return next because it's gonna be next at the end. Now what I can make use, it's again my famous async storage right there. Now what I can do here, it's like we did on the other one. So I'm gonna just go back to app.js, copy paste this line, 28, and paste it there. If token it's not null, I'm gonna do rec the option, the headers, the authorization equal token or null, so no token. Equal token like that, and if it's null, else, I'm gonna say null, like that. So I'm gonna try again. I'm not gonna take my clone, my token we have already, but now again I'm gonna say something else now. Token is not valid. Why? Because as you remember, we need to have bearer in front of it. So here put backtip, put token inside curly bracket, and now just put bearer. And now if I do this, boom. And now if I redo this, boom. Now it worked. We add the token in the headers, and the backend know all time who is this user. And look, they always do the user find one, so you know the user, it's a real one. So that worked. This is what we want. And now just for showing you, because now that don't make sense, it's now what we can do. It's gonna go in app. This is something we're gonna do when we're gonna log out. It's remove item. So here, what we say, it's when the app start, we're gonna remove the item. So now that make that. So now this token don't exist anymore in the async storage. So now you're gonna see we don't have it. So now I'm gonna log with a better name. So I'm gonna say Jane do gmail.com, password 123, and Jane do. So that's gonna be what the user is gonna do first. We're gonna click on sign up. Mistake I did. Loading that. It's you want to just do this way. You put your bearer equal null, you don't do else, you send null. That was when that crashed. So just for showing you and be sure now it still works, I'm gonna jump back to my app. I'm gonna remove the item just to make sure we don't log. Perfect. I'm gonna get item. Was one little mistake. And now Ned Stark, yeah, but gmail.com, password 123, and Ned Stark 03. And now I'm gonna click sign up. Boom, now it worked. And now if I refresh my screen, you're gonna stay logging. Next one, we're gonna see how you can get the information for the user. So I mean, right now it's easy. I mean, we log, we have the token, but now I want to show like the headers here later. I want when I go to profile, we get other information and stuff like that. And this is what we're gonna do. So the next one, I'm gonna just do the get me for adding this headers here for the avatar, and that was gonna be a good one. So I hope you enjoy this episode, and we're gonna talk later. Have a good day. Bye.